At number 10, Russell Brand. This man has been slowly exposing himself to the public over the years as his chaotic energy has just gotten worse and worse. Brand has previously gone down in history as being the worst host of the Video Music Awards ever, but now he's going down in history for being an absolutely terrible human being. 4 women have come forward alleging that Brand mistreated them verbally and physically between the years of 2006 and 2014, arguably the height of his career. He strongly denies the allegations, and in a video that he posted himself, the actor claimed that while he was promiscuous, all relationships were consensual. One woman claimed that Russell had started a relationship with her in 2006 while she was still in high school and he was 30. Apparently, they met when Brand bumped into her at the mall. According to the woman, the relationship was meant to be anonymous, with Russell asking her to straight up lie to her parents. He even wrote her a script to keep things smooth. Another woman alleged similar behavior in 2007, but added that he had a massive temper, becoming physical with her a few times. Several more women have spoken about their situations with Brand, all of which were eerily similar and showed that he has a pattern of mistreatment. At number 9, Jonah Hill. Unfortunately, it would appear that the once funny man turned Oscar nominee is really a jerk. Recently, a news article broke of his ex-girlfriend, Sarah Bradley, revealing evidence that Hill was emotionally damaging towards her during their relationship. The couple first got together in 2021, meeting on the beach as she was a surf instructor. According to a series of texts between Sarah and Jonah, it's obvious that he is manipulative. He told Sarah to remove any photos of her in a bathing suit, which was a lot of them due to her being a surf instructor. When she did that, he told her it was a good start, but she didn't seem to get his point. He then told her, "It's not my place to teach you. I've made my boundaries clear. You refuse to let go of some of them, and you've made that clear, and I hope it makes you happy." People felt that his boundaries were closer to ridiculous demands, and in another screenshot, Hill explained his conditions for maintaining their relationship, including stating that he didn't want Sarah surfing with men, aka her job. He wrote a massive list of boundaries and rules that were just clearly him trying to control everything Sarah did. At number 8, Oprah Winfrey. Who would have guessed that the woman once famous for handing out cars on her talk show is being canceled by the world? Why? Well, Oprah made a career-ending mistake when herself and Dwayne Johnson broke the one rule of being a billionaire: don't ask poor people for money. Last week, Winfrey and The Rock announced that they would be starting a relief fund for the victims of Maui wildfires. The People's Fund of Maui was given a solid $10 million to get off the ground, $10 million donated by Winfrey and Johnson combined. So why is it just Oprah getting so much hate online? Well, it's because she has a net worth of roughly $2.8 billion, billion with a B. The internet is collectively furious at Oprah for having the audacity to ask working class citizens for charity when most people can barely afford to put food on their table. The Rock and Oprah donated $5 million each to give the fund a head start, except $5 million to Oprah is like $500 to us. Oprah ended up addressing all the hate online, telling the Daily Mail that she was disappointed in the reaction from the world rather than focus on the good things and the people of Maui. The world was mad that she asked them to give a nickel. Oprah has yet to confirm if she will be donating any more to the fund, but so far it's not looking very promising. At number 7, Drew Barrymore. The actress and now talk show host made headlines last week when she announced when her very popular show, The Drew Barrymore Show, would return to air despite there being a massive writer's strike in Hollywood at the moment that a majority of celebs have shown their support towards. The Charlie's Angels star claimed that the move was not intended to make light of the current situation, but rather as a way to create a safe environment to discuss the difficult topics. She posted a video to Instagram apologizing for all the pain the decision had clearly caused people. The writers who worked on her show before the strike were literally standing outside of CBS studios with picket signs. The internet called her a number of different insults and asked that she be fired from the show altogether. Well, apparently Drew heard everyone's cries and decided to keep the show off air for now. While she made the right move in the end, it may be too little too late. At number 6, Danny Masterson. The actor, best known for his role on the sitcom That 70s Show, has been convicted on serious charges of misconduct. 3 women came forward detailing a time when Masterson aggressively took advantage of them. 3 separate incidents took place between 2001 and 2003, but a verdict was not reached until just this year. The first round of investigations actually took place while he was still on That 70s Show, but at the time there wasn't enough physical evidence to take things very far. In 2017, the investigation was reopened, and it was reported that he once again being investigated. The women spoke about Masterson's misdeeds, and they were eventually able to scrape together enough evidence for a conviction. Another woman came forward in 2017, rounding it up to 4 accusers. It was revealed throughout the proceedings that Netflix had actually tried to dispute the claims of these women as a way to maintain their working relationship with Masterson. Eventually, he was fired from the ranch and, well, everything with his name attached to it. The actor defended himself tooth and nail right up until the final verdict. In the last year, former co-stars like Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis wrote character statements supporting Danny and literally claiming that he was a role model. At number 5, Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada was well known for a long time, mostly as Will Smith's wife, but also for her occasional acting roles. These days, she's known as a disgruntled talk show host. For a few years, Pinkett Smith hosted a talk show online called Red Table Talk, where she would invite guests to come on so they could discuss various topics, from upcoming projects to the man she was dating while her and Will were on not so good terms. The show was known for getting a little too deep into Jada's personal life, often making the viewers and her guests very uncomfortable, revealing details that nobody asked for. The company she worked for eventually decided to shut down their streaming, and her show would suffer. The show may have also been canceled due in part to her husband smacking Chris Rock in the face. At number 4, Colleen Ballinger. Former YouTuber and current demon, Colleen Ballinger has recently been outed as having inappropriate relationships with her young fans. Luckily, nothing went as far as becoming physical, but her involvement in various group chats with fans half her age was extremely inappropriate. Ballinger is best known for her character Miranda Sings, who became so popular on YouTube that she received her own Netflix series. If you haven't seen that, too late, it's been removed now. She was basically messaging her fans to deliver so-called advice when she was really just trying to manipulate them into being her unpaid employees and sending them to bat for her during any kind of drama. Following the backlash, Colleen decided to post an apology online. The only thing was, she did it while playing a ukulele. In response to the cringiest apology of all time, her former fans decided to cancel her for good by reminding the world of a number of inappropriate bits, sketches, and jokes she probably shouldn't have done and certainly should not have been available to children to watch. At number 3, Katy Perry. Recently, Katy Perry took to social media to announce that she wants to quit being a judge on American Idol after 6 years over a fear that she's being made to look like a bad guy by the producers. For those who don't know, Perry had an interesting reaction to a contestant revealing she was a mother of 3 and being much older than she looked. In response, Perry stood up out of her chair and almost laid on the judge's table. The contestant, Sarah Beth, then sarcastically said that if Katy laid on the table, she would die, and Katy responded with, "Honey, you've been laying on the table too much," in reference to her having multiple kids at a young age. At first, everyone laughed and this all seemed in good fun, but following her audition, Sarah announced she would be going back to California to be with her family, claiming she just wasn't cut out for show business. She later took to TikTok to call Perry out for the joke, which was shaming her in a number of different ways. Katy has been defending herself since the video, claiming it was not meant to be harmful, but she's made similar comments and jokes to many contestants over the years. At number 2, Justin Roiland. The creator of the adult cartoon comedy series Rick and Morty was on a hot streak at the start of 2023. Rick and Morty had been just renewed for another season. His first-person adventure comedy High on Life was becoming one of the most played games across the country, and oh, then he got arrested for being a jerk. Turns out that this man who made the world laugh was also a man who made women cry. It was revealed that he would be facing 2 separate criminal charges in Orange County, stemming from a domestic incident that took place in 2020 with the woman he was dating at the time. While he denied the allegations at first, several other women came forward to share their stories of mistreatment from Justin, who had apparently been sending them horrific DMs online that varied from pretty tame to the creepiest stuff you've ever heard. Roiland was stripped of his contract with Disney and Hulu, who'd been distributing his series on its streaming services and were funding his most recent projects. Roiland was also replaced on both Solar Opposites and Rick and Morty, with the current news being Dan Stevens is taking his place. And at number 1, Donald Trump. In 2006, Donald Trump was known as a wealthy real estate mogul with a hit reality series called The Apprentice. He was recently married to Melania with a 4-month-old baby. However, reports leaked that Trump was actually in the midst of an affair with adult film star Stormy Daniels after she filed a civil suit claiming the contract he made her sign to keep quiet was invalid. Daniels claimed that herself and Trump shared an intimate relationship for roughly a year during his marriage to Melania. These aren't the first allegations of an affair, as Trump has been back and forth in the media since the 70s, being accused by 26 women of mistreatment or misconduct. While these rumors have never held any merit at first, the truth was finally set free. After being the most chaotic president in recent history, it was announced in March that Trump was arrested on 34 separate violations of a New York law against falsifying business documents to conceal another crime. Over the years, he was essentially taking company money and using it to pay off anyone who may have been a threat to him, both personally and politically.
Number 10. Justin Bieber's roast. The comedy roast. The most wonderful tradition of the comedy world. A gathering of some of the funniest and most clever people on the scene coming together to make fun of each other on stage in a friendly and dark performance. In 2012, actor, comedian, scholar, and jerk James Franco participated in one of these roasts, inviting several top-tier comedians like Sarah Silverman, Aziz Ansari, and to host the show, he got his longtime buddy Seth Rogen. One of the key members of the dais was Jonah Hill. Jonah was best known for comedic roles in movies like The Sitter and Superbad, but around 2011 he made a shift to the more serious side of filming, starring alongside Brad Pitt in the movie Moneyball. While he was sitting in his cozy little chair before his turn on the mic, everyone who came up to the stage had a joke to make about Jonah's behavior. He's been cold and rude, man, with his head jammed so far up his rear that he looks like an alien from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. When Jonah came to the stage to retort, he held his own, but his words were noticeably more scripted compared to his fellow performers who gave like a more off-the-cuff and authentic delivery. The truth has been there all along. Jonah said little to nothing to his fellow roasters following the event, apparently snubbing James himself. Everyone collaborated on a movie called This Is the End, and according to Seth Rogen, it was the last time that he ever saw Jonah Hill smiling and enjoying his time on set. It seems that his turn to the more serious side of things may have taken a toll on his ability to feel joy. Number 9. His choice of roles. Jonah's career is filled with everything from comedy blockbusters to serious dramatic pieces. He got his start working in comedy films, with one of his first performances being a brief cameo in the film 40-Year-Old Virgin before moving to a leading role in the classic cult comedy Superbad. It's one of my favorite movies, and Jonah is by far one of the best parts of it, on top of Bill Hader and Seth Rogen as cops. That's just legendary. While he started making people laughing in 2007, by the mid-2010s, Jonah had shifted his efforts to the more serious and macabre, with his roles in films like True Story and Wolf of Wall Street. He even earned an Oscar nomination for his supporting character in Moneyball with Brad Pitt. The red flag was the dramatic shift in tone from Hill as a performer. If you put his posters from the last 20 years side by side, you'll see that the older he gets, the less color there is on the page. Like, the more serious things are, the more black and white they need to be. He attempted to return to the comedy world in a recent Netflix movie called Don't Look Up, but thanks to the news of his possible tyranny arising, we doubt there will be a 23 Jump Street anytime soon. Number 8. His refusal to be interviewed. Have you ever noticed that when a Jonah Hill movie comes out, he's like never really been around to talk about it? Well, according to several celebrity news and interview sites, Jonah actually refuses to participate in most interviews simply because the ones that he has done in the past have just been extremely uncomfortable. When he was doing press for the movie Superbad, several of the interviewers were asking Jonah questions about his weight, calling him a large comedian over and over again. Now, he may be a large man, but that wasn't necessarily the selling point of Jonah Hill. The following few years, while still being involved in comedy films, Jonah was dodging questions left and right about his size, going up and down. Eventually, Jonah actually lost a ton of weight for his role alongside Channing Tatum in the comedy movie 21 Jump Street. The interviews for that film were the final straw for Jonah, though, now being asked by people why he was so thin, literally fighting one of the most unwinnable battles of interviewer time. Since the early 2010s, Jonah has been sticking to the shadows and simply being in whatever movie comes out. While the line of questioning may have caused him to avoid the interview spotlight, this was around the same time he shifted to a serious role in Moneyball, seemingly proving his mind had snapped. Number 7. Jonah's ex. Recently, a news article broke that has brought to light some troubling information about Jonah Hill. According to his ex-girlfriend Sarah Bradley, Jonah was emotionally damaging towards her during their relationship. The couple first got together in 2021, meeting on a beach as she was a surf instructor. According to a series of texts between Sarah and Jonah, it's obvious that he is mentally manipulative. He tells Sarah to remove any photos of her surfing from Instagram that showed her bum bum in a thong, and when she did that, he told her it was a good start, but that she didn't seem to get his point. He then told her, "It's not my place to teach you. I've made my boundaries clear. You refuse to let go of some of them, and you've made that clear, and I hope that makes you happy." In another screenshot, Jonah showed his plans and simple conditions for maintaining their relationship, including stating that he didn't want Sarah surfing with men. You know, like doing her job. He wrote a massive list of boundaries and rules that were clearly him trying to control everything that Sarah did. One point literally saying that she can't post pictures of herself in a bathing suit. What's she supposed to wear to the beach? A turtleneck? His manipulation is apparent and will surely shift Hollywood's opinion on the once great comedian. Number 6. The Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street is considered to be one of Martin Scorsese's best modern movies. The film is based on a book written by the titular wolf Jordan Belfort, chronicling his rise and demise to stock market fortune. In the film, Jonah plays Donnie Azoff, a man who actually quit his job to work for Jordan in the glory days. His character is a good time on screen, but Jonah's ability to play Donnie is just a little bit too good. Donnie's character spends the majority of the movie being a degenerate and getting his friends either arrested or injured over and over again. According to Martin Scorsese, Jonah would just walk on set and go in. No prep, no routine, he would just go. This should have been the biggest red flag of them all. If someone playing an evil wizard had just walked on set one day and started shooting lightning balls out of their hands, you'd be like, "Oh my god, that guy's a real wizard." When Jonah was able to easily switch between himself and the womanizing substance user he plays on screen, Martin should have called a psychiatrist to give this guy a good once-over. Number 5. His rapid change in weight. Many performers are able to shrink and grow seemingly at will. Look at Christian Bale. He has gained and lost weight over and over again for roles over the years, attributing the dramatic changes to a form of method acting, allowing him to literally embody his characters. Jonah is no stranger to this concept, as he was spotted over 100 pounds lighter in 21 Jump Street than he had previously been in the movie Moneyball. I guess when you're nominated for an Oscar, they give you some kind of a gym membership or something. We should look into that. While Jonah's rapid shrinking and growing isn't necessarily a red flag per se, we can't imagine that the rapid change is good for his body, and with the news of his possible toxic behavior, it appears that that change may have affected his mental health as well. In his most recent flick, You People, alongside comedy legend Eddie Murphy, Jonah appears to have returned to his larger build and returned to the realm of comedy. Now, I haven't personally seen the movie, but the reviews so far suggest that it may be one of those movies that you throw on in the background, you know, just kind of put it on while people are hanging out. Just not a good one. Number 4, his attitude on set. Jonah may have started his career as a comedy king, but his attitude on set is anything but fun. According to many directors over the years, Jonah is a very gifted actor, able to come to set prepared for work every day with no hesitation. The only overall problem seems to be his communication skills. Jonah is known to be a very quiet and reclusive man on set, apparently spending a majority of his time in trailers away from the cast and crew. He's also known to be rather quiet while being given directions or while waiting for a scene to be reset. Like, imagine being a PA on set, you're standing next to the guy from Superbad and he's just on his phone playing Candy Crush all day. People always say it's the quiet ones that you have to worry about, and it seems that his quiet time may have been spent contemplating the meaning of life and his role in it. Or he spends it making a mental list of all the things that his partner needs to do to please him in a relationship. That might be it too. Number 3, he turned down The Hangover. Arguably one of the funniest trilogies in recent history has been The Hangover Saga, a series of films following 3 friends trying to piece together the wild night they had before. They lose their friends on roofs, they steal monkeys, and Ken Jeong is in it, so you cannot go wrong. What many people may not know is that the role of Alan, played by Zach Galifianakis, was actually offered to Jonah Hill over 3 times before they just finally gave up. While there was no specific reason why he didn't want to participate in this, a low-budget flick called Cyrus was released not long after The Hangover started production. It seemed that Jonah wanted to work in a more serious role instead of participating in one of the highest-grossing comedy trilogies of all time. While Cyrus was an interesting movie, it follows Jonah playing the titular son, living with his mother, played by Marissa Tomei, who befriends and begins to date John C. Reilly. It's a great movie, but it's nowhere near the caliber of the Hangover series, so we just wonder how hard Jonah was kicking himself after that one. Number 2, he canned 23 Jump Street. Alright, this is an entry that actually hurts to talk about, so I just need a second because it would have been really cool if they had made it, okay? In 2012, Jonah and Channing Tatum starred in a comedy reboot of the classic crime series 21 Jump Street for a more modern audience. The film received massive success at the box office and was quickly picked up for the sequel treatment. The sequel ended up being one of those few examples in Hollywood history of a second movie being better than the first, which is why it was so surprising to hear that the planned threequel 23 Jump Street was canned by Sony Studios. The main reason being, well, it was just too ambitious for Jonah. You see, the third entry in the franchise was going to be a massive crossover between two Sony properties. Jonah and Channing were set to cross paths with Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith's characters from the Men in Black trilogy. The leaked script told the story of Jonah and Channing's characters investigating a new substance at a university, only to discover that the suppliers are extraterrestrials being hunted by the Men in Black. The idea of Jonah and Channing wearing that black suit and shades while holding comedically large it makes my soul sing with joy. A script was written, but ultimately the studio thought it just wouldn't make any money and end up being a massive misstep in the franchise. Apparently Jonah actually had something to do with this too. You see, while Channing was filled with excitement towards this project, Jonah felt that the entire thing was going to be one giant pain. His under-enthusiasm made the studio nervous to go forward with what would have been one of the best movies in the last 10 years. Instead, Sony decided to reboot the Men in Black franchise with Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth, and it's just bad. It's just really bad. And at number 1, everything about him. I know it's a bit of a cop-out to say that the biggest red flag is everything that Jonah Hill has done, but am I wrong? As mentioned on this list, this guy has shifted his weight up and down, he's ignored his cast and crew while on set, he's flippy-floppy all over the genre map, and he's been mentally manipulative towards the women in his life. Jonah was a light in the early days. People remember him bringing joy to the set and always being in a good mood. But as the years went by, things got worse and worse, to the point that he now just does his job, grabs his check, and moves on to the next project. Now that he's been outed as being a mentally manipulative man in his personal life, we can only imagine the slew of backlash and cancellation that Jonah is surely about to face. Number 10. The hypocrisy. Lizzo may have been a public advocate for body positivity, but as part of the lawsuit being brought against her, it seems like all of that positivity may have just been some act that she was putting on to make herself more universally loved. Now, I am not a small man. In fact, I have what many people consider to be a dad bod, and I'm cool with it. So I'm not dismissing the notion that we should love and respect ourselves, but she made it a massive part of her personality on camera when it sounds like the only body she actually cared about was her own. According to her dancers, Lizzo regularly shamed her team and made them feel that they were too large or gaining weight, with several dancers confirming these allegations. Liz made several posts over the years spreading the positive body image, but now she's being called out for being a massive hypocrite, which she 100% is. That's like the government telling you not to do something when they just do it anyway. They would never do that. Right? Number 9. The leaked meeting. One of the dancers, Crystal Davies, who was a part of the lawsuit, was fired for secretly recording a meeting between herself and Lizzo. The meeting was about the dancer's performance on stage recently and Lizzo's apparent dislike of the weight that she had been gaining, claiming that she wasn't committing to her role. Initially, Davies only planned on recording the conversation for personal reasons. She has a condition that leaves her disoriented sometimes, and she wanted a backup on the off chance that she forgot what the meeting was about. After it was discovered that the audio recording existed, the dancer was promptly fired, apparently being pulled into a meeting just to get yelled at before they let her go, not even giving her a chance to speak. Lizzo exacting her star power to simply end the career of one of her main backup dancers is insane and is most certainly worth the lawsuit coming her way. Number 8. Her party lifestyle. One key factor of this lawsuit being brought against Lizzo is the place in which all these accusations went down. Lizzo was at a club in Amsterdam's red light district when she coerced, aka forced, one of her dancers to touch a woman's bare chest, despite saying several times that it was not something that she wanted to do. Facts are, this actually isn't the first time that Lizzo has been seen living it up at the club. Over the past few years, she's been known to be a regular party girl, spending a solid amount of time between touring to have just a good time and celebrate her success. But the amount in which she has been partying, despite being such an advocate for positivity, is wild. For someone who shares this message of loving yourself, she sure likes to drink the no-no juice, not to mention throwing her money around at every chance she gets. Nobody wants to talk about it, but that night in Amsterdam probably cost them a fortune. I don't know, I've never been. Moving on. Number 7. She made the dancers eat fruit. Alright, let's get into this Amsterdam situation. According to the lawsuit, Lizzo coerced her dancers to go out with her to a nightclub in the city's red light district. And once they arrived at the club, it was brought to their attention that the club encouraged dancers to wear their birthday suits. Dancers would also perform special shows in which they would launch things from their catapults. Nope, I don't like that one. Lizzo's team were encouraged to catch the launched items, which included various adult objects, and at one point the dancers were apparently encouraged to eat bananas that had been protruding from their fruit baskets. No, that's worse somehow. But that wasn't even the worst of it. Lizzo then told her crew to come with her to a club in Paris that was specifically filled with servers and staff wearing nothing at all. All the dancers were shocked and they were robbed of their choice to not attend. I think we can all agree being handed your food by someone in nothing but kitchen shoes sounds pretty uncomfortable. This is when Lizzo had heavily encouraged dancer Miss Davies to touch one performer on her chest, which she clearly did not want to do, but her boss yelled at her and told her to do it, so you know how that goes. Just an overall weird night, and I'm not even mildly shocked that someone came forward to call this out. Shady. Number 6. The dance captain. Lizzo is not the only person being named in this lawsuit. Her dance captain, Shirlene Quigley, is also facing a slew of accusations. According to the suit, Quigley shared lewd physical fantasies with dancers and the crew, and publicly discussed the purity of one performer while simultaneously berating all other dancers who had premarital relations. Now, sharing your beliefs is one thing, but trying to jam them down the throat of your employees, that's not a great move. According to several dancers from the past few years, whenever this woman was around, she was a nightmare, not only spouting her religious beliefs at anyone who had ears, but also attempting to convert several of the crew members. Quigley is being named personally in this lawsuit for creating a hostile work environment, having extreme racial biases, discrimination towards disabled employees, and a failure to prevent or remedy the situation. Number 5. Lizzo tried to distract us. Lizzo is just like the rest of the world. When she's had a few too many adult beverages, she's unable to keep her hands off her phone. According to a TikTok post from earlier this year, though, Lizzo admitted to sliding into Captain America star Chris Evans's DMs. She had apparently sent him emojis of dashing away, women playing handball, and a basketball. Now, I'm no detective, but was this supposed to be like, I'm coming to you, Chris, balls in your court? Who knows what she meant. But to follow up that message, she released a TikTok in which she lip-synced to an audio clip. You know, that thing that makes people tons of money for doing absolutely nothing on an app. I was going to quote it, but I can't physically type things from TikTok because my brain starts to twitch, so it's my least favorite app in the world right now, and that includes Flappy Bird. The fact that she openly admitted to not only overindulging in no-no juice, but also directly suggesting that Chris's butt, his ball is in her net. I don't know what the emojis mean. Many fans believe she brought this to their attention to save some face when the official lawsuit was released, possibly knowing that this was coming for quite some time. Number 4. Her TV show. Now, Watch Out for the Big Girls is a TV show that only recently came into my life thanks to doing research for this video. The series premiered last year and follows Lizzo as she hunts for confident women to join her world tour as dancers. In fact, among the many cast members on the show were 2 of the 3 plaintiffs in this case, Ariana Davies and Crystal Williams. The show is just one of the many tactics that she seems to have used to make herself look better when the truth got revealed. Despite the show being a search for new talent, it turned into some kind of like a shield that she could use. How could Lizzo be so mean when she had a whole show dedicated to giving people jobs? Well, following the news of the suit, many people have called to question why Lizzo would work on the project when she's such an advocate for body positivity. Well, with no word from Lizzo yet as to her side of this story, the world is quickly canceling her from society, and we may just end up having to add her to our top 10 destroyed careers of 2023. Number 3. The hostile work environment. Lizzo created an extremely hostile work environment according to the plaintiffs, with several examples that have been backed up by former dancers and even some people involved with the documentary that she was trying to get off the ground. According to the plaintiffs, Lizzo made them work ridiculous hours, including up to 12-hour rehearsal days, and one of the dancers recounted an experience of having to use the washroom and being forced to do it in her pants while rehearsing so that she didn't lose any time. Like, Lizzo, if someone has to use the bathroom, let them go. Yeah, just let them go. It took longer for them to get the poor woman a new change of clothes than it would have taken her to go take 5, you know? Like, next time just let them pee. Let them pee in peace. In fact, as a form of humiliation on the part of Lizzo and her dance coach, they made Davies wear a see-through garment with nothing underneath and finish her day in front of the entire crew. Now, if that is not the definition of a toxic workplace, I'm not sure what is. Number 2. Claimed that the dancers were drinking. Lizzo has made many claims regarding the women involved in this case, but one of the most outlandish is the idea that the backup dancers were indulging in no-no juice before every show. Lizzo claimed that the backup crew was lacking in energy, simply going with the motions and getting off the stage quickly as possible. This caused Lizzo to accuse several of the dancers on her team of party hardying before they were supposed to do their jobs. Dancer Crystal Williams spoke out against the claim immediately, reminding Lizzo about the 12-hour rehearsal days and constant mental strain from working beneath her, being a contributing factor to the so-called dip in energy. Trying to claim that your crew has been slacking when they have the receipts? It's a bad move on Lizzo's part and will surely be one of the several reasons that she's cancelled this year. Number 1, she has said nothing. By far the shadiest thing of all, and the thing taking the top spot on this list, is the fact that Lizzo has said nothing about this at all, and it's not to say that she isn't aware of the suit. In fact, she posted on Instagram 3 separate times on the day that the news broke, but it had nothing to do with the lawsuit. Not only does that mean that she had her phone and was very capable of reading the news, but that she blatantly ignored the possibly thousands of comments and messages she is surely receiving. When something like this happens, it's important that the person being accused of the misdeeds to come forward and either fess up or deny everything. There's no in between. Being silent is the worst thing that you can do. It gives the internet more time to circulate negative stuff, and eventually it'll take over anything good that you try to do and will land you in a realm where no one can hear your screams or cries. Now, Lizzo could very well be taking her sweet time to draft up a proper statement so she doesn't actually say something wrong that the court can use later. Makes sense, because let's face it, this is about to be a rough few months for this woman. I'd wish her luck, but like a lot of people have backed up everything that's being said. So yeah. Number 10. Russell Brand. Even before the controversy surrounding Russell Brand came up this year, this dude was unwelcome at royal events, award shows, birthday parties, anything and everything public. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm sorry to be the one to inform you, Russell Brand is secretly a terrible person. The man known best as a comedian, a bringer of joy, has secretly been manipulative, aggressive, and at times violent with his ex-partners. Following the news that a documentary about his life and career was set to release on BBC Channel 4, several complaints were filed by exes alleging that Russell had mistreated them during their time together. The allegations were actually reinforced by Russell's ex-fiancée, Katy Perry. They dated for over a year and a half, and in that time, she came to learn that Russell was short-tempered, opinionated, and stubborn, qualities that make a man a terrible person. Russell's career was cancelled, and he's currently awaiting a trial. Number 9. The Oprah Maui Scandal. Oprah has been claiming to be many things since the Maui backlash has begun. A good boss, a charitable woman, and an advocate for the island of Maui. By starting this fund and donating her spare millions, she's made her mark in the public as a woman who cares so much. So much that she's asking you to give her your money as well. Isn't that nice? Well, not really. The money that she donated turned out to be taxed, so she didn't actually donate anything, and of course, the main issue that people have with Oprah is that she's a billionaire asking average everyday people for money. As I've mentioned in previous videos, Oprah would not care about Maui or its people if she didn't have a vested stake on the island. Oprah has had property in Maui for quite some time, being almost a second home to her. When the fire started raging, she started fundraising. Think about all of the things that have happened in the past few years. We all forgot about Australia being on fire in 2020. Western Canada was on fire earlier this year. Some parts of Florida have been underwater and are still right now. Yet, Oprah has decided to dedicate her time and money to helping out the area where she has a vacation home. Number 8. Colleen Ballinger. Former YouTuber Colleen was accused by several of her young fans as being a creepy creepo who wanted to be their friend. Colleen is best known for her character Miranda Sings on YouTube, who became so popular that she received her own Netflix series. If you want to watch it, I'm sure you will need a VPN or something. It's probably banned in every country. She was basically messaging her fans to deliver so-called advice when she was really trying to just manipulate them into being her little minions. And not the little yellow guys with the glasses, that'd be different. There was a massive amount of proof in the pudding. Fans had screenshots of conversations, with one fan claiming that she actually sent him lingerie as a joke. Oh man, lace underwear, hilarious. Following instant backlash from the world, Colleen decided to post an apology online, which she did, while playing a ukulele. This woman is shown to be weird to everyone, and she thought it was appropriate to go online and sing about it. In response to the cringiest apology of all time, her fans resurfaced a video that really should have gotten her canceled when it first came out. A few years ago, she decided that it would be an awesome idea during one of her live shows to sing and dance to Beyonce's Single Ladies, while in blackface. Yeah, it is the roughest clip of Colleen. She's just barefoot on stage, wildly flailing and waving her arms, and nobody at that show is like, that's weird. Yeah, the world's great. Number 7, Jada Pinkett Smith. Cheating rumors and dating scandals have followed Jada and Will Smith throughout their entire relationship. Since day one, people have been convinced that they're in an open relationship or they were cheating on each other on and off. Well, it turns out that some of those rumors were actually true. Ahead of the release of her new book, Worthy, Jada sat down with People magazine to share some inside information. The most revealing was that herself and Will Smith have actually been separated for like 7 years. Now, of course, that's not all. Jada's actually slowly ruining this man's life and mental health. When Jada revealed the truth about her separation from Will, she claimed that by the time they reached 2016, they had become exhausted with trying to make things work. The news of their separation was like a mild shock at best because Super Sleuth fans claim to have proof Will and Jada have been separated forever, and the proof is in the interviews. The first clip to be submitted as evidence was Will and Jada's Red Table Talk interaction, where she admitted to the entanglement with August Alsina, simultaneously admitting to a brief separation. In the conversation, she literally says that herself and Will had basically broken up, but instead of just telling us right then and there, she decided to hold on to that information for a better time. A lot of Jada fans have commented on the resurfaced clips saying that Will looks drained, like he's clearly dealing with a ton mentally speaking. Now, I could go on and on about how terrible Jada is, but I've done lots of videos about that in the past, so go and check those out. Number 6, Justin Timberlake. One of the most discussed sections of The Woman in Me, a memoir by Britney Spears, is of course the revelation of what really happened while Britney and her Mickey Mouse Club co-star Justin Timberlake were together. After meeting JT in the clubhouse, the two sparked a romantic connection. Their connection was strong, but unfortunately Britney had to make a difficult decision in the year 2000, after she found out she was pregnant. At first, Britney was actually pretty excited about the whole thing. In her book she revealed that she had planned on starting a family with Justin at some point, just that this was going to be a little bit earlier than she expected. Well, turns out Justin was not so excited and told her that they were both too young to be starting a family, continuing to remind her that their careers would also need to be put on pause. The revelation may be part of the reason that Justin has reportedly been so nervous leading up to the book's release, and might be why he's turned his Instagram comments off. Britney revealed that if the decision had solely been left to her, that she would have gone through with the pregnancy, but she decided to go the opposite route instead. She claims to have only done it because Justin so clearly didn't want to be the dad. In the book, she said that looking back, it is one of the most agonizing things she has ever experienced in her life. Number 5, Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors is currently the man behind the purple cape of Kang the Conqueror in the MCU. Kang has been written as a very important figure in Marvel. In Ant-Man Quantumania, he was the main antagonist, only he was just acting as a variant of the real antagonist, which was an army of Kangs from across the multiverse. I know, I'm gonna get geeky for a second. Including He Who Remains, a Kang variant from Loki, who once again acted as a major part of the Loki series. Unfortunately for Majors, an ex has come forward and alleged that Jonathan was physically violent towards her while they were together. Since March of this year, Majors and his team have been adamant that the situation is blown out of proportions and that there's nothing to be upset about. In fact, in June, Majors filed his own cross-complaint accusing the accuser. Prosecutors refuted these claims and told him that they had no plans to prosecute Grace Jabari, the woman who accused him. Majors has been dropped from his agency, and so far his role on TV and film is up in the air. A spoiler alert for Loki Season 2. The series ended with Kang not really being He Who Remains anymore, and it's unclear of what's going to actually happen. Now, there have been rumors that his role in the MCU as the big bad will be replaced by Doctor Doom, so we'll see. Sorry if you don't like nerdy stuff, that's just my little tangent. Number 4, Lizzo. Lizzo may have been a public advocate for body positivity, but as part of a lawsuit being brought against her, it seems like all the positivity might have just been an act that she was putting on to make herself more universally loved. Now, I am not a small man. In fact, I have what many people consider to be a dad bod, and hey, I'm cool with that, so I'm not dismissing the notion that we should love and respect ourselves, but she made it a massive part of her personality on camera, and when it sounds like the only body she actually cared about was her own. According to her dancers, Lizzo regularly shamed her team and made them feel like they were too large or gaining weight, with several dancers confirming these claims. One of the dancers, Crystal Davies, who is part of the lawsuit, was actually fired for secretly recording a meeting between herself and Lizzo. The meeting was about the dancer's performance on stage recently, and Lizzo apparently disliking the weight that she had been gaining, claiming that Crystal just wasn't committing to her role. She was also bringing her dancers to strange places and making them do things against their will. Lizzo was at a club in Amsterdam's red light district when she coerced, aka forced, one of her dancers to touch a woman's bare chest, not something that she wanted to do. She also made them eat bananas from some no-no zones that, again, not their idea of fun. Currently, it's still up in the air as to what the outcome will be in this trial, and so far Lizzo is maintaining that she has done nothing wrong and will prove her innocence any day. Number 3, Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner. Joe and Sophie got together back in 2016 after they had been set up by mutual friends, something that they had apparently been trying to do for quite some time. They got together and instantly fell in love, getting married just over a year after getting together. Sophie admitted to Rolling Stones in 2019 that she was hesitant at first because Joe was a big musician, she was a big TV and film star, meaning that most of the time they would be on opposite ends of the world. Eventually, she warmed up and got together with Joe officially. The split came out of nowhere. For the most part, their relationship has seemed to be stable on the outside. They were never a part of cheating scandals, which is surprising considering Joe's lack of discretion. There were never any strange rumors, photos, they were just like a happy couple. As of September 1st, Joe Jonas filed for a divorce from Sophie, with the only current information being that Joe has claimed the relationship is irretrievably broken. Something pretty serious must have gone down in a very short amount of time, because only hours before this announcement, Joe posted a photo of himself on Instagram with his ring on full display. Now, despite the minimal amount of tea spilt so far, we are in for one super messy and public divorce. Things have settled down a bit in the past few weeks, but Sophie was actually just spotted getting cozy with another dude very recently, so you can imagine who's taking things harder at this point. Number 2, Danny Matheson. That 70s Show was a popular sitcom that helped launch several careers, including Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. Danny was of course also on that show, but it turns out the allegations that date back to 2004 surrounding Danny were reported in 2004. Danny was still on the show when an investigation took place. 4 women reported that he had mistreated them physically, prompting local law enforcement to halt production and bring Danny in for questioning. The investigation brought little to no actual evidence to the table, so Danny was let go and the entire thing was forgotten about. But that means that Ashton and Mila literally watched this man go in for questioning and still called him a role model in their character witness letters. It makes no sense. Their jobs were literally stopped while this man was under investigation, and when the charges came up again 15 years later, they were still on his side. Thankfully, in 2023, it's a lot easier to confirm allegations of this nature, and he was recently sentenced to 3 years in prison, so justice served. Number 1, Jonah Hill. Jonah was once the funniest man in town, shifting his efforts to the world of drama and creating a really nice career where he could just do anything he wanted, really. Unfortunately for fans of Jonah Hill, some information came out earlier this year that called his character into question. Reminder, this isn't my opinion, these are things that just happen in the world and are public knowledge, okay? An ex-girlfriend of Jonah's posted screenshots from past conversations, and the conversations ranged from Jonah just asking her to tone down the photo she was posting, to asking her not to do her job. For those of you who don't know, his ex Sarah works as a surfing instructor, and Jonah was asking her to not surf with men while working, and that she wear more than a bikini while she did so. When Sarah released these screenshots, she underlined them, calling Jonah a narcissistic misogynist, but also said she didn't really want anything bad to happen to him, so Since the messages have been released, there has been a massive online debate as to where Jonah stands in the eyes of the public. Some people feel that canceling him entirely is just a bit too much, and compared to some of the other scandals in Hollywood, especially that I just covered, Jonah Hill is relatively chill. Others want his name wiped from the face of the planet and never to be heard from again, so I don't know, give and take. Number 10, Rebel Wilson. Rebel has lived up to her name by not only staying in a hotel that she shouldn't be in, but a country that she's not allowed in either. Last year, Rebel came out as a member of the LGBTQ+ community and was accepted with open arms. However, in January of this year, Rebel and her girlfriend Ramona Agruma were among the several celebrity A-listers that were among the first to stand in the brand new Atlantis, the Royal Hotel in Dubai. Dubai is famously known for its anti-LGBTQ laws, with many same-gendered couples being forced to stay in separate rooms whenever they visit in case the authorities come knocking, and that's just the lighter side of that. But Rebel did not care. Not only did she go on vacation in Dubai, she also posted several photos of herself and her girlfriend posing in their lavish hotel suite. Many members of the community called out the audacity of Rebel for even stepping foot into the country that hates who she is, but it was revealed that Rebel was actually staying at the hotel for free and was posting photos as some kind of like a paid sponsorship type deal. Following the slew of negative comments towards Rebel, you would think that she would apologize or give like a brief explanation, but instead she posted more photos of herself and Ramona attending the ribbon cutting ceremony, blatantly exploiting your status and power to break rules and do whatever you want. Epic fail. Number 9. Austin Butler. Earlier this year, Mr. Butler delivered an iconic performance as the original king of rock, Elvis Presley, in the movie Elvis. However, since that film has wrapped, there's been one lingering trait that Austin just can't seem to shake. For one reason or another, Mr. Butler has continued to speak in his Elvis voice. He has a southern drawl and a rasp to his voice that he's just never had before. The most glaring example was his acceptance speech at this year's Golden Globes. For a moment, it sounds like he's doing a character instead of actually accepting his award, but as he continued to thank his fellow performers, the audience realized that this was just his voice now, I guess. He addressed the speculation that his voice had shifted to L Australia in June, and he claims that the voice comes from working on the project for 2 straight years. He also claimed that the Elvis voice is something that he uses to help himself when he's in awkward situations. But according to recent reports, Butler has been working with a speech therapist in an attempt to rid himself of the voice. But he already filmed his role in Dune Part 2, and it was right after he played Elvis. So does that mean that in a few months we're gonna get Elvis in space? Space. Number 8. Britney Spears. This is a more recent scandal with Miss Spears. You see, recently in the most peaceful and godlike city in the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, she was spotted near NBA player Victor Wembanyama at a hotel. According to the police reports and the recently released security videos, Britney tapped Vic on his back and shoulder in an attempt to get his attention. This is when his security team had reportedly backhanded her, causing this whole situation in the first place. Britney claimed that the security detail laid their hands on her, but the reality was that the security team's ninja-like reflexes caused them to accidentally push her own hand back towards herself, inadvertently slapping herself across the face. The funny thing with that situation is just like how hard she confirmed that someone else had hit her, but did you not feel your own hand touch your face? That would be like me standing here and going, "Hey, who did that?" With the footage not only proving her guilt, but her misremembering of the situation, many are beginning to question if Britney was all there during the situation. I'm just saying, the only time I've ever forgotten stuff that significant is after a couple of trips to my deck, if you know what I mean. I'm talking about smoking marijuana. Number 7. Raven-Symoné. That's so Raven is something that a lot of people are going to be saying over the next few weeks. Thanks to the former That's So Raven star Raven-Symoné sharing with the world that she in fact gets mental images of the past, present, and future events. On an episode of her and her wife's podcast, Best Podcast Ever, the host spun a wheel of conversation topics. The wheel landed on the word psychic. The guest on the episode, Keke Palmer, said that she believed that they exist, but that she's, not one of them at all. Well, Raven was on a show about it, so Symoné claims that she gets psychic visions randomly throughout her life, saying that she has an ability to tap into the psychic energy that surrounds everyone. But she also claims to be able to do things that a lot of people claim to do, like walking into a room and being able to instantly read the vibe. Yep, get this woman a spandex shoot, she's an X-Man. In fact, her own wife immediately called her out and claimed that she might have been seeing The Matrix just a few too many times. Maybe it was Neo, or maybe it was the several years spent on a sitcom in her early days, but this does make us wonder what was the casting process like for that show. Hi, Miss Symoné. Yes, we'd like you to read. Why is she staring at the wall? Oh my god, she's perfect! Number 6, Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner could be on this list for numerous reasons, but today we are going to be focusing on the fails of this year. Oh wait, no, there's still plenty to use. The one that we're going to cover today is about an accidentally dark theme that she had during her kid's joint birthday party. One of the photos showed Stormi under a sign that said Stormy World, which was clearly inspired by her father Travis Scott's album Astro World. She received a massive amount of backlash, referring to the 2021 Astro World Festival crowd surge that caused 10 people to lose their lives. Not only was this in bad taste, not only was it a fail, but 1 month earlier, Kylie announced that she had named her new 11-month-old son Air. A-I-R-E, which is a word that many fans have pointed out is a common Arabic expression for my pee-pee. It's not actually what it is, I just can't say the real word because it's YouTube. May the Lord be on her shoulders should she ever decide to travel to the Middle East. Number 5. Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth was recently involved with a little court case that started back in 2017. Apparently at that time, Gwyneth was on a ski slope with her kids when she ran into a man named Terry Sanderson, which he claims caused life-changing injuries. Earlier this year, the man finally decided to file a lawsuit against Paltrow asking for $300,000 in damages. However, she was not about to take that lying down. Gwyneth countersued for $1 plus legal fees for making her even appear in the courtroom. After only 2 weeks, it was revealed that Gwyneth was not at fault, and in fact, several eyewitness accounts claimed that Mr. Sanderson was the one who collided with Paltrow, and that he was just trying to squeeze some money out of a successful woman. At the end of the day, this was not the Amber Heard Johnny Depp celebrity trial of the century. It was just time in court that she could have spent on designing a new candle. In the end, she won her $1 reward and wished Sanderson well, but yeah, come on Gwen, you gotta take them for all the cheddar they got. Number 4. Eva Green. Eva Green has been involved in a lengthy court case thanks to a project that never got off the ground. The film was called A Patriot, and Eva was set to star as the leading lady, until the film was cancelled due to never being able to get proper studio funding. At the time, Eva was under a pay-or-play contract, meaning that whether the film got off the ground or not, that she would be paid for her time. A payment that was $1 million. Yep, they said let's give her $1 million before someone even gave them $1 million to make the movie. Eva opened a court case against the studio claiming that they had not paid her yet, but the studio launched a counterclaim that she had conspired against the project to tank it on purpose. They claim she misused her contract and undermined the production, causing it to collapse in order to buy out the script and make the film herself. As part of the discovery process, several of her personal messages from the app WhatsApp were revealed to the court that proved that she had in fact said terrible things about the production, the script, and the people that she was working with. She called people things that I'm not allowed to say online, so just imagine a terrible thing that someone has referred to you as. There you go. She ended up winning that court case, but not before being outed as having one heck of a trucker mouth. Number 3. Kendall Jenner. Another Jenner to grace this list, Kendall has been called out for her epic fail at using Photoshop. After posting several pics to Instagram in February, fans noticed something strange with pic number 4. Kendall had hands that appeared to either be melting or stretching out like she was a werewolf. The image is clearly edited in some way, but was done poorly. Not only do her fingers look long, and honestly it's terrifying to look at, but someone actually forgot to Photoshop in open eyes. She looks like she is letting out the most stress-relieving fart of all time. Regardless of how the pictures were supposed to turn out, they revealed that she not only edits most, if not all of her pics, but she needs to watch a tutorial or something. Seriously, her hand looks like the leg of a dog. Number 2. Justin Roiland. The creator of the incredible adult cartoon comedy Rick and Morty was on a hot streak at the start of this year. Rick and Morty had just been renewed for another season. His first-person adventure game, High on Life, was becoming one of the most played games across the country. Oh yeah, and he got arrested because he's a jerk. It turns out that this man who made the world laugh was once a man who made women cry. It was revealed that he would be facing 2 separate criminal charges in Orange County stemming from a domestic incident that took place in 2020 with a woman that he was dating at the time. While he denied the allegations at first, several other women came forward to share their stories of mistreatment from Justin, who had apparently been sending them direct messages online that varied from tame to just the creepiest things you have ever seen in your life. Roiland was stripped of his contract with Disney and Hulu, who had been distributing his shows on their streaming services, and funding was pulled from all projects. Roiland was also replaced on both Solar Opposites and Rick and Morty, with the current news being that Dan Stevens is taking his place, so I don't know, let's see how that goes. And at number 1, Colleen Ballinger. Former YouTuber and current demon Colleen Ballinger has been outed as a of her young fans, and I'm not talking about cutting dogs' hair. Colleen is best known for her character Miranda Sings on YouTube, who became so popular that she received her own Netflix series. And I'm sorry if you haven't seen that, it's long gone by now. Following the slew of cancellation and backlash from the world, she tried to save face but failed miserably. Colleen decided to post an apology online, and she did apologize while playing a ukulele. After this woman is shown to be a literal monster, she thought that it would be appropriate to go out and sing about it. In response to the cringiest apology of all time, her fans decided to remind her of a little misstep that she made in her career. A few years ago, she decided that it would be an awesome idea during one of her live shows to sing and dance to Beyonce's Single Ladies. Hey, we've all been there, but we haven't all been wearing blackface while we do it.
Starting off this countdown, we have Avril Lavigne and Mod Sun. And it seems like Avril said, "See ya later, boy," as reps confirmed that
the pair have broken up, which seems hard to believe because they were head over heels for each other. The news came almost 1 year after the pair got engaged. Now, what's crazy is that Avril has been spotted going out with Tyga, so she moved on very fast. Not only that, but Mod's son said he had no idea that him and Avril even broke up. His rep said, and I quote, "They were together and engaged as of 3 days ago when he left for a tour, so if anything has changed, that's news to him." He apparently found out after the news of her and Tyga made headlines. Moving on to number 9, we have Macy Williams and Ruben Selby. Now this one came as a huge shock to fans since they were dating for 5 years. That's a long time to spend with one person, and we were expecting an engagement between the two, but nope. So the pair made their relationship public in 2019. The news broke on February 23rd after Macy shared a selfie of the two to her Instagram story with the caption, "The end of an era," with a broken heart emoji. Her explanation went as so. At Ruben Selby _ and I decided to end our relationship. Since we met 5 years ago, our connection always extended deeply into our shared and separate creative careers, and it will continue to do so. This decision is something we are so grateful for, so as we can protect the magic that we can't help but emit whenever we put our brains together. Concluding the statement, she said no further questions for the time being, and added that they must protect their children, which was a reference to her dog. How sad though. In our 8th spot, we have Maddie Ziegler and Eddie Benjamin. The two began the relationship in 2019 but didn't go public with it until March of 2020. The two dated for more than 3 years and just called it quits, which again came as a huge shock. Fans thought that the two were endgame and were going to get engaged. When speaking of her partner, Maddie said things like, and I quote, "I feel very excited every day that I get to date him. We have such a good time together and we were best friends for a really long time before we dated. It's like I'm just hanging out with my best friend every day. It's really fun, it's honestly the best, I love it." So it's crazy how things can change that fast. In our 7th spot, we have Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott. The two have had an on-again, off-again relationship for quite some time, but this time it seems like they have called it quits once and for all. The reason being, well, according to a source, Kylie is very focused on her kids and her business, whereas Travis Scott, on the other hand, is a partier. Kylie isn't into partying right now, so they are butting heads about their different focuses. But now, although they weren't engaged, rumor has it that there were talks about it. But now it seems like that possibility is completely off the table. And at number 6, we have Shannon Beater and John Jansen. The Real Housewives of Orange County star Shannon Beater and her partner John Jansen have called it quits this year. Shannon moved on to John pretty fast after her messy divorce from ex-husband David Beater. In 2019, Shannon revealed that she had a new man in her life and that the two had met through mutual friends. When talking about her relationship, she said, and I quote, "I've never been happier. I'm in a really great place. My friends have known him for 30 years, so I didn't have to make sure he was there for the right reasons. He's just a great person. I have a great connection with him." Now, Shannon and John ended things in November of 2022, but were on and off again until January of this year. That's when she finally revealed that they are no longer together. John said, and I quote, "We're two people who love each other very much, but love is not always enough. And while I know Shannon sees it as I've said things to her I never meant, I hope she'll be able to see that there's no bad person here. It's two really good people who couldn't make it work. I think the world of Shannon, I just want the best for her. She deserves that." Now Shannon added, and I quote, "I was hopeful this was the man I was going to spend the rest of my life with. I wanted it to work out. I've never loved anyone like I've loved John, but clearly he didn't feel the same way." So it seems as if Shannon thought John was the one and was ready for him to be endgame, but he didn't feel the same about her. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Nick Viall and Natalie Joy. Bachelor Nation's Nick Viall has recently revealed that he has popped the question to girlfriend Natalie Joy, and she said yes. The two revealed the news in a joint Instagram post on January 12th. The post featured their engagement photos and said, and I quote, "For the rest of my life, it's you." Now, here's the thing. People are saying that this relationship is doomed to fail and have predicted they will call off their engagement this year. Why? Well, first off, they got engaged very quickly, within a year. Not only that, but people pointed out their age gap. Nick is 42 years old, while Natalie is 24 years old. That's an 18-year age gap. Now, they may prove us wrong. Who knows? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Moving on to number 4, we have Lily James and Michael Schumann. Lily James and rock star boyfriend Michael Schumann have broken up following claims that they were engaged. The two dated for about 2 years and have said that over the past couple months they just grew apart. The couple were first spotted in February of 2021 sharing a kiss outside a hotel that Lily was staying in while filming the movie What's Love Gotta Do With It? The couple made it official at the Oscars in 2022 where they made their first red carpet debut together. Then in August of 2022, the two sparked engagement rumors when Lily was spotted rocking a ring on her ring finger. But the two have drifted apart and are no longer together. In our third spot, we have Ty Herndon and Alex. Here is another couple that fans think rushed into an engagement. After dating for just 6 months, Ty Herndon and Alex have gotten engaged. Ty said, and I quote, "After all this time, I have met the person I know I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with." Alex is a brilliant artist and craftsman who restores mid-century furniture and makes stained glass art. He will also be starting work on his MBA soon. He's a smarty, y'all, and I can't wait for all of you to get to know him. Not only that, but apparently they have already started to plan the wedding and want it later this year. Again, fans think that they are rushing into things and everything is happening so fast that it's doomed to fail. Hopefully, they can prove these people wrong though. Coming in at number 2, we have Fallon Pina and Jalen Banks. Real Housewives of Atlanta star Fallon Pina and her fiance Jalen Banks have broken up nearly 16 months after getting married. In a joint statement released on February 9th, the two said, and I quote, "It is with deep sadness in our hearts that we have decided to end our journey as a couple. Though we love each other very much, we feel it is best to part ways. Our bond as friends and family will never be broken. We ask for privacy at this time." Now, this news comes just a month after she announced that she sadly suffered a pregnancy loss. And in our number 1 spot, we have Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. Now, these two were quite the item. They seemed madly in love with each other, even saying that they drink each other's blood. Is that couple goals or what? Just kidding. But recently, there seems to be a bit of bad blood between them. Get it? Bad blood. Now, it's not 100% sure what went down, but it's been alluded to that Machine Gun Kelly cheated on Megan. Dude, first of all, who cheats on Megan Fox, okay? They're crazy. Anyway, apparently the two had a big fight over the Super Bowl weekend, which led to Megan taking off her engagement ring. The same source claimed that Megan is very upset and won't even speak to her fiancé. This news came days after Megan posted lyrics on her Instagram, all hinting at dishonesty and cheating.
Number 10, Adam Levine. This is an impression of Adam Levine smelling something good. Oh, yeah, You don't have to put that in the video, I just wanted to get that out of my system. This past September, the Maroon 5 singer was accused of partaking in an affair with a woman named Sumner Stroh. Adam had apparently reached out to the TikTok star to ask about using her name for his new daughter. Nah, that's just the tamest thing he said. What he actually typed was a series of promiscuous messages that heavily implied that he was a cheater, pumpkin eater. She then showed screenshots from his account in which Adam had comments on her physical appearance, telling her how much he cared for her, and yes, he asks this woman that he is having an affair with if it'd be cool to name his newborn after her. That would be like Donald Trump going, "Hey, this is my new son, Stormy Trump." Adam tried to deny the allegations, but the proof was too strong. Only a few days following Sumner's posting on TikTok, several women came forward to also accuse Adam of cheating on his wife, sharing screenshots and DMs sent by Adam to their accounts. Despite his wife being upset, they were actually able to patch things up, but their kid's name most certainly is not, nor will it ever be, Sumner. Who the heck put the letter N in summer? Just saying, that's stupid, that's silly. Number 9, Jonah Hill. Unfortunately, it would appear that the once funny man turned Oscar nominee is actually a jerk. Recently, a news article broke thanks to his ex-girlfriend Sarah Bradley, showing evidence that Jonah was emotionally damaging towards her during their relationship. The couple first got together in 2021, meeting on the beach as she was a surf instructor. According to a series of texts between Sarah and Jonah, it's obvious that he is very mentally manipulative. He tells Sarah to remove any photos of herself surfing from Instagram that showed her bum in a thong, and when she did that, he told her that it was a good start, but that she didn't really seem to get her point. He was being very manipulative, saying that, he made his boundaries clear, that she refused to let any of them, sink into her head. He was basically claiming that she didn't hear anything he was saying, but what he was saying was just complete trash. In another screenshot, Jonah showcased his plans and his simple conditions for maintaining their relationship, including stating that he didn't want Sarah surfing with men, which is like half of her job. He wrote a massive list of boundaries and rules that were clearly him trying to control everything that Sarah did. At one point, literally saying that she can't post pictures of herself in a bathing suit. Okay, cool. What's she supposed to wear to the beach then, man? Nothing? Alright, birthday suit it is. Sorry for anyone hoping for that 23 Jump Street movie. Jonah Hill is officially being cancelled. Number 8. Nicki Minaj. Nicki has been pegged as an opinionated woman for a long time. Throughout most of her career, Nicki has been unable to keep her opinions to herself. She called out fellow musician Miley Cyrus during her hosting gig at the 2015 MTV Music Video Awards. She's taken a swing at Cardi B, and she officially exposed herself as mean and dumb when she decided to express her opinions on the events of 2020 online. You see, Nicki was one of the many people in the world who were under the impression that the world's top doctors are just trying to microchip us with medicine. She joined the massive online debate after contracting the cold vid and being forced to miss out on the Met Gala, calling the event controlled. Apparently, you needed proof of the jab to get in, and Nicki did not get the jab. She was afraid too after her cousin had supposedly become impotent following his jab. Because yes, the government's goal is to microchip us and take away our ability to have kids. They already did that. If you ever have a cell phone in your pocket, it's kind of the same thing. It's a listening device, a baby stopper, and a computer all in one. Needless to say, this was the last straw for many fans who called her actions ridiculous and misguided and have officially weaned her out of their lives. Number 7. Taylor Swift. Taylor's tyranny of torment must end now. Taylor Swift has made a name for herself as a person who thrives on the ending of a relationship. Since the late 2000s, Taylor has been making millions in the music industry. Her songs like Love Story and 22 are anthems to many. The catchy tunes tend to come from a place of so-called heartache, however. Taylor has thanked her exes on several occasions for inspiring the songs that made her who she is today. People like Tom Hiddleston, Harry Styles, Jake Gyllenhaal, they've all had a part to play in the inception of some pretty solid bops. The argument can and should be made that Taylor needs to just relax though. She's made several songs that were good without the need to berate an ex, and some of these songs are pretty revealing. Imagine if after every breakup you've ever had, a song popped up on your phone by U2 that was called Why They Left You. Remember when U2 tried to jam their music into our ears? That wasn't fun. Recently it was announced that Taylor had gotten together and split up with the 1975 frontman Matt Healy. While people were just surprised that these two were even together in the first place, the truth was revealed. Not only does she have terrible taste in men, but she's actually just really mean. Taylor has apparently been bashing Matty for months and only using him as a way for her to boost her power. It's not confirmed that she is mean yet, like she hasn't come out and actually called anyone names on camera, but come on, we all know, Tay-Tay, we know who you are. Number 6, John Mayer. The new light singer who burst onto the music scene with 2001's Room for Squares quickly became known amongst the world of late night television as a man who loved to hear his own voice, meaning that he will not stop talking once you let him go. Because of this, his filter seems to just shut down the moment that he speaks, because over the years, John has been known to exhibit toxic behavior. He has spewed several racist remarks, and he has been accused of cultural appropriation. In 2010, he said a lot of creepy and misogynistic things in an interview with Rolling Stones, but that was just the start. You see, by 2023, it was revealed by none other than his ex, Jessica Simpson, that he was a truly manipulative and toxic dude. When she called out John for his mistreatment during their relationship, several big-name former lovers came forward to share their stories. By the end of this past winter, John had officially joined the list of canceled artists in Hollywood history, as nobody was buying the whole "hey, your mom's gonna love me" thing that he had going on. Now it's more like an "I'm dating your mom" kind of vibe. Number 5. Marilyn Manson. Alright now, I know sometimes we here at BTS like to judge books by their covers, but can we agree that this book's cover has all the information you need on it? Marilyn Manson, who looks like Johnny Depp and a Muppet had a baby, was a very famous musician before his true nature was revealed. In 2021, Westworld star Evan Rachel Woods named Marilyn Manson as the man who had allegedly attempted to force himself on her. She shared the truth via Instagram, claiming that she wished to share the information before he was able to cause harm to anybody else. According to Evan, Marilyn had been in her life since she was 18 and he was 36. Their friendship turned to relationship and they were briefly married in 2010. Marilyn tried to deny these situations ever taking place, but a massive number of other women came forward to share their experiences with Marilyn over the years. This culminating in some truly terrible things that I am not going to get into right now. Thanks to Evan's pursuit of the truth, which took nearly 4 years to see through, Marilyn was eventually taken down. Between 2021 and this year, over 15 women have come forward to back up Evan's claims and canceled this demon man for good. Good God, he's horrifying to look at. Number 4. Will Smith. In 2022, Chris Rock was hosting the 94th annual Oscar ceremony when he decided to make a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith. Rock expressed his excitement to see her in a fictional G.I. Jane movie, which, in the grand scheme of comedy, is not that mean. Clearly, this dude's never seen a single celebrity roast in his life. Immediately following the joke, Rock stood on the stage in confusion because Will Smith made his way up there and he suddenly just slapped Chris across the face. Now, first this was seen as a joke, but quickly proven to be a real reaction thanks to Will screaming at him from his comfy chair. The night was ruined, and to make things worse, an hour later, Will Smith won the Oscar for Best Actor in a Leading Role. During his speech, he gave a half-hearted apology for his actions, before claiming that the situation was due to his months of portraying the father in King Richard on set, leaving him with an extreme paternal sense to protect his family. Yeah, that's not a good excuse. Oh, I'm sorry I ended this guy's life. I've been pretending to be Freddy Krueger for 6 months. It's not my fault. By the time February 2023 rolled around, his career had officially been canceled, along with his wife, who was also exposed as a manipulative and overall just strange woman. But we've got a whole series on Jada on this channel, so if you want to see that, check it out. Number 3. Chris Pratt. It's him, Mario. For some reason, Chris Pratt has had a massively successful career since first starring as the lovable Andy Dwyer on the hit mockumentary series Parks and Recreation. Since then, he starred in blockbuster giants like the Jurassic Park trilogy, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and yes, he is now the voice of Mario for some reason. I don't know, I don't get it, it doesn't work well. This guy is unstoppable, but hopefully that's not true. You see, Chris was almost a part of the Me Too movement, but he somehow escaped our radars. In 2023, he was involved with an organization called the Hillsong Church. This mega church is known for being notoriously anti-LGBTQ+, and at one point their church's former leader Brian Houston actually went out into the public and shared their beliefs with the world. And could you imagine it? He got torn to shreds. You know, metaphorically speaking. Gosh, I wish it was physical. While it was only ever rumored that Chris was involved with the controversial group, it was confirmed by his ex-wife and fellow actor Anna Faris that he certainly wasn't against their beliefs. According to her, Chris denied ever being a part of that church until 2022, when they were no longer as powerful and he could simply claim ignorance. While Chris is still going strong in Hollywood, the truth will soon be revealed, and Chris is certainly going to land himself on the long list of canceled A-listers. Number 2. Alec Baldwin. The star of films like Glengarry Glen Ross and Cat in the Hat, sorry, it's twitch when I talk about that movie, Alec has been in a number of successful projects, but he recently was under fire after the accidental slaying of a crew member on set of his new film. He may be happy-go-lucky on set, but in reality it turns out that Alec is just one of the meanest people in the bunch. In 2007, Alec directed his hot temper at his daughter, Ireland, who he had with his ex-wife, Kim Basinger. In a now infamous voicemail that would reveal the usually mild-mannered, soft-spoken man was secretly just angry all the time. TMZ obtained the audio of the message to Ireland in which Alec just screams. He says, "You are a rude, thoughtless pig. You don't have the brains or decency to be a human being. I don't care if you're a child or that your mother is a thoughtless pain in the butt." It was an incident in 2022 that landed him on this list. Following the accidental slaying of the cinematographer, Baldwin denied several public appearances that was apparently due to him being unable to hold back his annoyance and frustration long enough to seem empathetic to the victims of the family. He's currently awaiting trial, so who knows, maybe he'll be on a future list of celebrities in jail. Number 1. Mariah Carey. Mariah may echo in your skull around the holiday seasons, but according to most, you should really keep that space in your head reserved for another Christmas time song singer. Bubbly anyone? Mariah has been known to be a bit of a diva over the years, apparently making outlandish requests and taking part in some truly strange moments. For instance, when giving birth to her children, Mariah had the doctors play a live version of her song Fantasy, so that her voice was the first thing that they heard in the world. Okay. Unfortunately, the playlist was on shuffle and they instead listened to Bird is the Word. Everybody say it, a bird's the word. Nah, I'm just kidding. That would have been fun though, but it probably would have scarred them for life. She's walked out of presidential events because she wasn't the center of attention. She makes people speak to her via a whiteboard the night before a performance just to keep her voice clean, and literally makes someone roll out a red carpet for her as she walks out of vehicles at events. Like that lady from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's literally just someone's job all day to walk around Mariah being like, I'm sorry. In 2023, she was officially exposed by a former assistant who claims that working for Mariah was one of the most difficult things that she had endured in her entire life. She is currently classified as a diva, but needs to be classified as canceled. All I want for Christmas is a new song to love for the love of God!
Starting off our list today at number 10, we have Selena Gomez and Zayn Malik. With Selena and Zayn Malik being spotted out enjoying a dinner date in New York City, many fans of the pop stars are very keen to know if a new romance is blossoming. With the news of Selena and Zayn coupling up spreading across social media like wildfire at the moment thanks to an exchange of texts that went viral on TikTok as one fan allegedly spotted the pair enjoying a meal together. One user who worked at the unnamed restaurant went on to say, "Tell me how Selena Gomez and Zayn just walked into the restaurant hand in hand making out and I seated them." With Zayn now following Selena back on Instagram, she would become one of the 18 people that the singer follows, which may be hinting they could be in a relationship. However, not all of Selena's fans are exactly happy about her new relationship with Zayn, as let's not forget his last relationship didn't exactly end so well, especially since there's been reports stating that he shoved Gigi Hadid's mother, and not only that, but the star has a history of violence, so it makes you wonder how this relationship might turn out. Number 9. Justin and Hailey Bieber. With everything going on with Hailey Bieber and Selena Gomez, it's been encouraging a lot of fans to urge the Canadian singer to split from his wife Hailey Bieber, as she isn't the nicest girl we all thought she was. With Justin becoming Hailey's support system through this hard time, it seems to be becoming a little too much for him, as he's known Hailey was really happy in the beginning when she made an effort to make amends with Selena, put all their drama behind them, with the feud becoming even messier thanks to fans hitting the internet to make a slew of allegations and going back in time to gather everything, which proves to make Hailey look like the bad guy. It's caused Hailey to fall down this dark path. Justin struggling with his own health problems, all of this drama with Hailey now has the star debating on if he should consider going into retirement from his career. But we can all hope if Justin does choose to leave his wife, let's hope he made her sign a prenup, because I wouldn't put it past her to take everything he has. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never have to miss on what we might just cover next. Coming in at number 8, we have Avril Lavigne and Tyga. Just after 2 years of being in a relationship, Avril Lavigne would break things off with her fiance Mod Sun, and then be pictured out with Tyga, with the couple sparking dating rumors after they were spotted having dinner with several friends in Malibu. Avril would soon break off her engagement with Mod Sun while he was on his music tour, with Mod being blindsided by Avril when the pair confirmed their relationship after they were spotted kissing during Paris Fashion Week. They also went on to pose for the paparazzi as they made their way into a party, with the reports in the beginning stating that the couple were just friends and that the rapper allegedly had nothing to do with Lavigne and Sun's split. Avril has now been seen moving on from her relationship with Mod Sun and into a relationship with Tyga. Mod Sun has been left feeling heartbroken about his relationship, and it's left the world wondering how long Tyga and Avril could have been seeing each other before she decided to leave her ex-fiance, especially since she would call off their engagement just 3 days after he left for his tour. Mod now taking to his Instagram to share his thoughts, he would say, "1 week, my entire life completely changed." Number 7. Kanye West and Bianca Censori. Australian Yeezy designer Bianca Censori was thrown into the spotlight back in January after headlines started to state that she married Kanye West in a non-legal binding ceremony. With Bianca's family being happy to hear about her news, it said that the pair held a private ceremony, and since they have been spotted out in public wearing wedding bands. However, even with Kanye moving on from his ex-wife, that hasn't stopped people from pointing out his new bride
bride is just another Kim Kardashian lookalike. And now that the pair are married, she has since been spotted out constantly looking identical to his ex Kim Kardashian. It makes you wonder if Kanye's making her his personal doll, or is she doing this to win over the controversial rapper's heart. And with reports, it would soon emerge stating that Kim Kardashian has been suspicious of her ex-husband's new wife, as before she even split from Kanye, she noticed that these two had a very strange, tense relationship. But either way, it's pretty weird that you marry someone you employ and then they start acting like Kim Kardashian. Number 6, Megan Fox and MGK. With all of the mess that happened during the Super Bowl with Megan Fox and MGK, the whole world has been wondering if the stars are still in a relationship, or did they actually split up? However, it seems like the couple is still together despite the cheating rumors, as it's been reported that they are currently still dating, they just aren't on speaking terms, whatever that means. As according to reports, she briefly shared a statement on social media to refute a lot of the theories that have been surrounding the current state of her relationship with MGK, after she came out to claim that there was no cheating involved and that she regretted making the whole thing so public because she was really upset in the moment. But at the end of the day, we all still wonder why the star is still with MGK. Clearly she still loves Shia LaBeouf, as she came out to say something about that recently, and let's face it, who dates MGK, especially since Eminem ended his career to the point he had to turn to acting and then punk rock music because the rap industry was like, see you later. Number 5, Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. Back in March, The Sun would publish an article where they would prove that Khloe Kardashian is back with her cheating baby daddy. And with the whole scenario, it makes us wonder what the heck Khloe is doing. With the pair's relationship being filled with infidelity, biggest bombshell of their on and off relationship would be dropped in June of 2021 when his personal trainer claimed that she was pregnant with Tristan's baby and that she would be suing him for child support. And when the kid actually turned out to be his, to make matters worse, Khloe even shouted out Tristan for being a good father, and fans would quickly come to slam Khloe for their relationship, as apparently Tristan doesn't even parent any of his other kids, and the only ones he does is actually Khloe's. With Khloe's sisters like Kim also becoming good friends with the star, inviting him out to attend their children's basketball games, proves Tristan is finally back in the family and that the pair are back together, but who knows how long until they split up again, and who might just split them up. Number 4, Blueface and Chrisean Rock. As Chrisean Rock and Blueface prepare to welcome a child together, we all can't help but point out that their relationship has some really toxic traits that prove that they would honestly be better off if they were to split up. With Blueface finally coming to the realization that he actually might be expecting a kid with his on and off again girlfriend, it has him wishing he never left his first baby mama. As from time to time, we've even seen the rapper go on Twitter and go into this massive rant about Chrisean, especially after she posted a photo of her baby bump, which has a lot of fans also wondering if she's pregnant because the photo looked a little sus. There's no debate when it comes to Chrisean's relationship, as it's now at its highest rocky point, and the fact that they are now dissing it out on Twitter, he has remained firm about doubting that he's even the father of her child. And even his mom believes Chrisean is faking her pregnancy. With Blueface seriously dissing the messy rapper, he's also gone to praise his ex-baby mother and how she was classy and how she presented herself in her last pregnancy and for not having weird men around her kids. However, one thing is for sure, Chrisean is pregnant with Blueface's kid. We're going to see a messy custody battle take place. Number 3, Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner. Between the constant paparazzi, hate from all sides of the internet fandoms, and a new feud that threatens to tear them apart, I just have to ask if we think that Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny even like each other anymore, because all this controversy surrounding them can't exactly be a fun situation to be in. Well, I mean, it's kind of interesting because I have something new to dive into for all of you. For the stars, it's definitely not a great situation to be in. And for Kendall, it seems like she isn't too happy about any of the drama surrounding her new relationship, and she's reportedly mad at Bad Bunny's new song, as part of his verse takes fire shots at Kendall's ex-boyfriend, Devin Booker. And he even took a dig at Kendall in the lyrics when he hinted that Scorpio women are dangerous. And I mean, that is true, but only when you double cross us. With Bad Bunny's lyrics only being mild, it's causing some issues between the pair, as Kendall is not impressed. Number 2, Kylie Jenner and Manu Rio. Just after splitting up from Travis Scott, Kylie Jenner sparked dating rumors after she was spotted looking a little too cozy with Spanish actor Manu Rios during Paris Fashion Week. While the two were spotted smiling and chatting while they sat front row of the show, fans would start going crazy over the idea, and they would start to speculate that there was some romance going on. And this would come just after Kylie revealed that she split from her baby daddy Travis Scott. The news would come after Travis was seemingly missing
missing from Kourtney Kardashian's epic Christmas Eve party, and Kylie's trip to Aspen over New Year's Eve. With Kylie and Travis sharing 2 children together, their split wouldn't really come to a surprise, as to many it seems like right now, Kylie doesn't want to be in a relationship and she just wants to have a family, so whenever she wants another child, she gets back with Travis so then they can get loved up, have another child, and as soon as she gives birth, she kicks him out of the picture. It just seems like the star can't find the one, and because of that, she takes advantage of her position with Travis, and when he needed her most this year, she was like, okay, bye. And coming in number 1 today, we have Madonna and Josh Popper. Back in March, Madonna started popping up all over the media headlines, and she went on to confirm her relationship with her 29-year-old rumored boyfriend, Josh Popper. Her relationship immediately started to face backlash, as Madonna is old enough to be the boxer's grandmother, as she's 64 years old. After the couple went on to pose for multiple photographs of themselves, Madonna seemingly hinted that there was romance brewing between the two. What makes their situation even more bizarre though is that apparently they only met after Josh started coaching one of her kids, and since getting together, the duo's relationship has been talked about all over town, especially since Madonna only just recently called it quits with her 23-year-old relationship to a 23-year-old who she got romantically involved with in September, which goes on to show that Madonna likes her men young and she isn't scared to push boundaries to stay relevant.